Hey guys, we got a trailer here for a TV spot for Avengers Endgame coming from the 2019 Super Bowl. Let's jump into this. So the first shot here, we get a kind of foggy shot of like New York City and stuff. We get a first few shots of that, just kind of New York City. Then we have a shot here of, I guess this is in New York Harbor or something. Everything kind of abandoned. I think this is really, really interesting there, kind of having the Statue of Liberty and stuff. I think it's kind of a really interesting idea. All the ships have kind of landed there since they're all been abandoned and there's nobody in there, and that's something that I wish. This is why I wish kind of the Netflix shows were kind of were more interconnected with the games, with the TV, with the movies and stuff, and knew what was going on. That way, the shows could play within this post-snap world. But we're not going to get that until we get the Disney streaming service shows, which won't come out till after Avengers Endgame, and won't happen. We won't be playing inside of this post-snap world. But we'll have to wait and see as to where things go in other movies and stuff. So this is really going to be interesting to see, and it looks like we might spend a little bit of time in that post-snap, half the people gone world type thing, and it could be really fun. Another shot of empty stadiums, empty places and stuff. Get a shot of this kind of sign, where do we go when now that they're all gone and stuff. I think it's really interesting, and definitely can't wait to see as to where things go. Just a few people that are left. They're all in support groups and stuff, and I think that's really going to be interesting to see as to does this end up creating new superheroes? Does someone else kind of come together and say, hey, we need to do something, we need to fight for their freedom and stuff, and I think this could be an interesting idea. First shot of the superhero we get is Captain America, just kind of I guess he's in this meeting type thing. I think it'd be really interesting if he's kind of leading this meeting, or if he's just there and everyone else is not an Avenger and he's just Captain America trying to do good stuff by helping people, or he's just there because he sees this meeting and he wants to join, but he doesn't really say anything, and everyone's like, it's Captain America, but we don't want to say anything because we're in this meeting with him. We're in this support group with Captain America, and it's kind of weird, but no one says anything. No one even mentions the fact that Captain America is really there, and I think that could be an interesting idea. And to see as to where things go, and maybe he gets what he doesn't know where his idea of how to go after the situation, and find Stark and stop this, go back in time, whatever the thing happens. He gets the idea from someone at a support group. Could be quite interesting to see. The next shot we get is a cool shot of Tony Stark. Looks like him and Nebula on the Guardian ship and stuff. So I think that's really interesting. Looks like he's still kind of trying to figure stuff out. I feel like this shot is before the last shot that we saw him in the first trailer when he sends the message. Maybe he's been building and building, and then he just gets exhausted, and that's when he makes the message recording for Pepper and stuff. And I think that's really going to be interesting to see as to where things kind of go with that, and how what is he building, and is he just kind of building to keep himself busy, just trying something, but it's really the chances of whatever he's building is kind of slim to none. I think that could be really interesting there. Or is he just trying to keep himself alive for a little bit, just trying to keep the oxygen working in the ship and all things like that. He's just trying to keep his Iron Man suit from running out of power so he can keep recording these messages. I think it could be really cool to find out, is he just kind of just passing in the time, keeping himself busy, or is he actually or is there something that he has a chance of surviving? What is he doing? Could be all kinds of stuff, and I definitely can't wait to see the interaction between him and someone like Nebula. You never would think Star-Lord and Nebula, like the last two characters you'd want to see together, but I think that's really cool, just putting the team up that you would never expect, you never would predict, and it could be interesting to see as to how these interactions go. Next shot we get, it looks like it's outside of the Avengers Tower. Got Steve Rogers, Natasha, Bruce, and we have War Machine. Looks like he's still wearing his brace, which is a bit weird that after everything. I saw a video talking about how he fell so far, such a big fall in Civil War, and yet he was kind of completely back and walking around in Avengers Infinity War, and now he's going to be completely fine again. So that'll be interesting to see, is to find out a bit more as to how things have been going on with his healing. Did he take anything? Is he taken, can they make a super serum that helps him heal faster from Steve's blood? Can they do something with Bruce's blood and help? I guess they wouldn't want to use Bruce's blood, but they finally have Steve Rogers. Can they make a super healing serum from his blood to help Rhodey heal? That could be something interesting to play with. or maybe the Guardians have something, or Thor has something. Who knows? Could be quite interesting to see as to where things go. And I find it quite interesting that Black Widow is blonde throughout this whole thing, and we've had some toy leaks that show that she's going to be have her red hair back. So I wonder if this is all before she dyes her hair. Does she dye her hair at the end of the movie for the big battle, or they just blonding her hair through CGI throughout this whole movie? Who knows? Could be quite interesting to see as to where things go with that red hair. Next shot we get is the only Guardian left other than Nebula of Rocket. It looks like he's getting into this some sort of cabin. I guess he has a cabin on the edge of the sea. Kind of reminds me of Luke Skywalker in the recent Star Wars reboots and stuff. I think that could be really interesting to see. Looks like there's some lobster traps behind him. He has 2 guns. Look like they're regular guns, obviously. So I think that would be cool, him getting some guns from Black Widow. And it would be cool to see if we get a scene of them kind of maybe him trying to learn how to use regular guns, that are not space guns and stuff. I think it could be quite interesting. And the fact, him dealing with the fact that he has to reload and all things like that he doesn't have to deal with when it comes to space guns and stuff. So I think it could be really cool to see his dynamic. Looks like he's kind of secluded, but hopefully we get to see a lot of him interacting with the Avengers, because that's really going to be a really cool thing to see different people kind of reacting to him. I mean, they've kind of know about him, they've seen him in the battlefield, but was very much in the midst of battle, right? So actually getting to know and having relationships and stuff with him could be quite interesting to see as to who he bonds to and who where the relationships go with him. Next shot we see again is Black Widow. Looks like she has blonde hair, very much of a dark thing. So it's who knows if she has her blonde hair or if she has her red hair and it's kind of CGI'd. It could be anything. We'll have to wait and see. There also could be fake shots, just like from the Avengers Infinity War trailer. There was, I think, even the Super Bowl trailer last year for Infinity War had the fake running shot and stuff. So that was never in any thing. It was never in the movie. So, or unless it could be a shot for an Endgame, we decided let's just put it in there and no one will know the difference, right? Mix it up, taking shots from both movies and putting it in here. Now, they can't use shots from Infinity War in this because we've already seen the movie, but they could have put shots from this in Infinity War trailer because we haven't seen them, right? I think that could be interesting. You get to see her, and it looks like she's shooting some targets. We see them, she hits all the targets and stuff. I think that's really going to be interesting to see. I think this would be an interesting opportunity for her to show Rocket Raccoon how to use these guns, and I think that could be quite fun to see. We get a cool shot here of Ant-Man and Rhodey, War Machine, just closing down their helmets, and it looks like Rhodey has some of his newish armor. It doesn't stand out too much in these photos here in these trailer, but it looks kind of cool there. It looks like it's somewhat similar. I don't think we see anything about his new weapons. Sounds like he might have some of his weapons from the video games, from the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 video game. So I think that could be really interesting to see. The Destroyer machine or something like that could be quite interesting to see if he uses that. Here we get a close-up shot of Thor. Can't really see anything. It's just too dark to see anything around here. But nice cool close-up of him. He has some sort of a collar, so maybe this is not his suit. I don't remember if his suit has not much of a collar. I don't think it does. So this could just be a jacket that he got from the Avengers mansion, Avengers headquarters. So it could be quite cool just to see what that is there. And then we get another shot of him. This looks like it could be a completely different shot. It looks like this background looks like the same shot where we saw Rocket and stuff. So maybe he's just dropping off Rocket. He's going to visit Rocket. He's living with Rocket. It looks like he might be flying or something in some sort of Wakandan thing. Or who knows, or it could be his own ship that he found somewhere. Who knows, we could wait and see. I mean, I don't know why he would need a ship to fly around in unless the Avengers are all doing it together. But can't they use him? Can't they just teleport everyone with the Bifrost that he now can use via the Stormbreaker? So I think that could be really interesting to see how things kind of go with all this. Could be interesting to see as to where things go. It does remind me a little bit of the shape of the I forget what it was called, but the machine that they used in Ant-Man and the Wasp, trying to go back in time again to the quantum realm, could look like something a little bit like that, but a little bit different. So it reminds me, because the shape and aesthetic reminds me of that. So I think it could be interesting to see there if anything goes anywhere. And then we get a shot here of Hawkeye. Looks like pre-Ronin, because he has his bow and everything, but he has the new haircut, which looks kind of interesting. Definitely can't wait to see as to where things go with that. Nice red kind of sheen to him. So I'm not sure if he's maybe he's looking at some sort of crashed ship or something. Who knows? Could be quite interesting to see as to where things go with him. And interesting that we'll see him as Hawkeye, and it'd be interesting to see how much we get of him as Hawkeye and how much we get of him as Ronin. So there, next shot we see is just of Captain America putting on his classic shield. This kind of remote looks like to me it might be the original Captain America shield, the one he used that he stole from the museum back in Winter Soldier, when he stole from the museum that Stan Lee was working at, and he's like, oh, I'm so fired, right? That was a great Stan Lee cameo, and I think this could be something like that. Maybe he still has that shield that was in display at the museum, or maybe it's put back at the museum. I think it could be interesting to see him. He puts on the classic one. Quite interesting, and I could see him putting on some of the classic costume for the final battle, just to kind of for classic sake, right, or something like that. Or if he goes back in time, he'd want to have his original costume on, so that when he shows back up in time, if he gets dropped back off in the 1940s or something from time travel, it would make more sense for him to have the costume that Peggy Carter would recognize him as and stuff like that. So I think that could be cool there. And here we get a cool shot, which looks like. It's hard to tell with who's around, but it looks like Captain America, maybe Thor, looks like Black Widow, and Rocket Raccoon for sure. It's unclear who that is. I'd assume that might be either, based on who we've seen before, probably be Ant-Man, Scott Lang, and maybe War Machine here based on his armor, or it could be even, looks like War Machine to me, but it could even be, if we zoom in a bit, could even be, it looks like War Machine to me, but it could even be, that's definitely War Machine based on the zooming in here, and that, I'm not sure. It would be interesting if that's Captain Marvel, but it could be Hawkeye in his Ronin costume, it could be Ant-Man, it could be almost a lot of people, so I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see. It's definitely not Thor, it doesn't look tall enough to be Thor, and that kind of looks like Thor with the haircut, but that could also be, height-wise, Thor is supposed to be taller than Captain America, so it's unclear as to who that could be, but I think it could be interesting to see as to who it is. But there you go, guys. Those are all the clips, all the frames that I found in the trailer that stood out to me. So let me know if I missed anything, maybe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.